Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. After that scintillating talk by Sri Prasad Chittaji, with so many anecdotes with Swamiji, I am going to keep my talk very brief. And I told Sri Ajit Kamath also day before yesterday that I had given a talk about 7-8 years back, and I was searching for that in all my computer folders, hard copies. I could not get any of that. So I sat and prayed to Swami to guide me to write this. So with his grace only I have been able to write this day before yesterday, late night. Okay. I will speak in simple English, but if there is a translation required in Tamil, which is my mother tongue, or in Kannada, which I can manage, please feel free to interrupt me. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Param Pujya Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, I take this opportunity to share my experiences on how I happened to come to Hamsaashramam in November 2011 and have ever since been a recipient of Swami's abundant grace. I will start with the grace part. In November 2011, I was feeling very depressed during a weekend due to the continuous health issues of my twin kids. On that Saturday, I was bored at home and I went in the evening to a mall near my house in Bangalore. I visited a bookstore in the mall, and usually I spend time checking out the section of philosophy and religion. Scientists' Search for Truth was displayed on a table in front of this philosophy and religion section. I took a casual glance at that book and placed it back, because I already had too many books on spirituality at home since my childhood. However, I happened to come back to this section again, and this time too, I did not pick up the book. At the time of leaving the bookstore, something in me prompted me to pick this book up, and finally I bought it. I went home and started reading the book. It was unputdownable. I finished the book in 2 to 3 sittings and was inspired to meet Swamiji at the earliest. The very next weekend, I came to the ashram after getting directions from one of my colleagues at office, who himself was a very advanced sadhaka. After reaching the ashram, I directly went to Swamiji's kutir and sat on the sofa. The door was ajar, the door was open. I waited in the prayer hall for about 10 minutes. Suddenly, a luminous figure wearing saffron robes and rudraksha malas appeared in front of me from behind the door. At that moment, I felt that I was having the darshan of God or Parabrahman himself, and I prostrated at his feet. Since then, ever since, my visits to the ashram were regular, and I started attending all the major functions and the Nama Sankirtanam on the 3rd Sunday of every month. Experiences. Swami drew me towards him like a magnet. During those days, my interactions with Professor Nagaraj Parki, Swami Tanmayamananji, Ajit Kamatji, then Srinivasanji, Swami Vishwananda, and Purnima Mataji, they shaped up my early days of spiritual journey in the ashram. I learned that one should not discuss worldly affairs, as Swamiji knows everything, and all of us are under his Kripa Chakra, or umbrella of compassion. Whenever I had some queries or clarifications, I used to approach Swami directly and speak my mind. I used to catch hold of him while he was walking from Kuti to here or something. I'll just go, like you catch hold of a professor for after-class participation, right? So I used to approach Swami directly and I speak my mind. Whatever comes to the mind, I ask him. He was very kind to brush aside all my immature questions and would often answer them very briefly, like Sri Prasad Chittaji said. Soon enough, I realized that, like Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, he too teaches using the method of silence. Whenever he used to come into the bhajan hall, at the end of the Nama Sankirtanam on the 3rd Sunday, he used to come via that and then he used to sit there on that seat, right? The entire energy of the this entire hall used to transform. As all of us, we do the Sashtanga Namaskaram or prostrations to him, he would give Anugraha to each of us in the hall with his compassionate glance, which is Karuna. Each of us felt his Karuna, that energy coming to us. I felt very secure in Swami's presence. And each visit to the ashram gave me more and more confidence to deal with my problems both in the world as well as at work and at home. Next one is, prior to coming to Hamsaashramam, I used to practice some pranayama techniques of another worldwide spiritual organization. Once I asked some doubts to Swamiji about those breathing and pranayama techniques. He told me to go and ask the same question to the founder of the organization, which taught me this particular technique. Since the founder of the ashram or of the organization, he had left his body many years ago, I had no answer. So I realized the need for a physical guru through this incident with Swamiji. One definitely needs to have a physical guru to progress in the spiritual path. After a year or so of coming to the ashram regularly, once I requested Swamiji to bless me with a japamala. He asked me to procure the same from the market, just one line answer, go to the market and get it. After that time, I understood that Ajnanis like us should take proper guidance before speaking to a Shrotriya and Brahmanishta like Swamiji. Later, I was told by the devotees of the ashram that merely attending the Namasankirtanam on the third Sunday tantamounts to Mantra Diksha, and no separate Diksha is required from Swamiji. In March 2014, I was going through a very tough time at my company. My new boss was very egoistic, and my position was getting weaker by the day. Unable to bear the situation, like Sri Prasad Chitta said, one fine day after lunch, nothing doing here, I drove down, I didn't have a driver, I drove down to the ashram directly from my workplace and fell pronto at the feet of Swamiji. Without mentioning anything about my work, me mentioning it, he simply said, let go, let go. I felt greatly relieved, as though a heavy burden was lifted off my chest. Soon enough, I moved to another company, and one of my ex-colleagues, later he told me that my boss, he mentioned that he was very uncomfortable to leave me. And he too was relieved and happy that I had left and found a better role. I understood from that incident that Swamiji will take care of all your worldly needs if only you surrender to him completely with Shraddha, that is faith, and Saburi, patience. All of patience is required. During one of my visits to the ashram, we were very fortunate to witness a conversation between a yogiji from the Tibetan region of the Himalayas and Swamiji. It happened right in front of the kuti where the chair is there. That's where the yogiji also had come. During that conversation, the Himalayan yogi mentioned that Hamsaashramam is a tapobhumi, and many sages and saints have done penance in this place in the hoary past. Therefore, Yogiji advised at that time that we need not undertake any strenuous yatras to the Himalayas or other sacred pilgrimages. Hamsaashramam is Vaikuntha, the abode of Narayana himself. That is the message from Yogiji. A few learnings that I had from the ashram, 5 to 6 points, and I will conclude. Learning number 1, the goal of life is to realize God or realize the self. This message was recently reinforced by Mataji Swaga Devi during the Sri Ramanavami function this year. Number 2, the 6 vices, Arishad Vargas of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya are extremely difficult to eradicate without the grace of the Guru. Swamiji's advice to get rid of these vices and progress on the spiritual path is to relentlessly use the tools of Viveka, discrimination, Vairagya, dispassion, and Tyaga, renunciation. Number 3, Japa Yoga is the highest form of yoga in this Kali Yuga. Swamiji always used to hammer, emphasize that the safest, surest, easiest and fastest way to reach God is through Nama Japa. He often used to quote the phrase from Bhagavad Gita, Yajnanam Japayajnosmi. Swamiji teaches by action and not through preaching. We used to be moved by his devotion to his Guru, Swami Nidhyananda, as Sri Ajit Kamatji and Sri Chittaji already mentioned. Right? We were all direct witness to the tears that used to roll from his eyes. Thus, he set an example through his own words and deeds. Before coming to the ashram, I used to attend a lot of social gatherings, even though I was not too comfortable then. That is in the spirit of camaraderie with my friends and colleagues and all. After falling at Swamiji's feet, the desire for company completely vanished, and I no longer miss any of those social events. Number 6, finally, the satsanga, or association with the wise at Hamsaashramam, that alone is sufficient for me to get rid of my vasanas. And this motivates me to keep coming back again and again and again to Hamsaashramam. With those words and with gratitude to the Principal Trustee Swami Tanmayanandaji and all the members of the management committee and all the devotees here, I prostrated the lotus feet of Swami Virajeshwara. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.